Welcome to Naturian Motive, where the past reveals the future. Ancient Greece did not rule the world with swords. It ruled the world with ideas. While other empires built walls, Greece built minds. More than 2,000 years ago, a small group of city-states on rocky land changed the destiny of humanity. They did not have the biggest armies. They did not have the most gold. But they had something more powerful than any weapon. They had thought. Greek philosophers asked questions no one dared to ask. What is truth? What is justice? What is a good life? Socrates taught that wisdom begins with admitting you know nothing. Plato taught that reality is deeper than what the eyes can see. Aristotle taught how to think, analyze, and understand the world. These ideas became the foundation of science, politics, education, and law. Greek democracy showed the world that people could rule themselves. Greek logic showed how to separate truth from lies. Greek philosophy taught how to live with purpose. While empires rose and fell, Greek ideas kept spreading. Rome conquered Greece with armies, but Greece conquered Rome with thought. Roman law was shaped by Greek philosophy. Western education was built on Greek logic. Modern science was born from Greek inquiry. Weapons rust. Buildings collapse. But ideas live forever. Even today, every school, every court, every university is still following the thinking of ancient Greece. But Greece also teaches us a warning. As Greek city-states grew powerful, they began to fight each other. Athens and Sparta turned against one another. Pride replaced wisdom. Competition replaced cooperation. And Greece, like Rome, weakened itself from within. The lesson is clear. Ideas build civilizations, but unity protects them. Ancient Greece shows us that true power is not in violence. It is in thought. The greatest weapon ever created was not a sword. It was the human mind. History doesn't repeat. Human behavior does. And those who control ideas will always shape the future. Greek ideas did not conquer through force. They conquered through influence. Long after Greek armies vanished, Greek thinking continued to move through time, quietly shaping civilizations that would never even see Greece. In Baghdad, scholars studied Aristotle. In Persia, doctors followed Hippocrates. In Andalusia, philosophers debated Plato. Greek thought became the foundation of medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and law. While kingdoms fought over land, ideas were conquering the world. When Europe was lost in darkness, Greek knowledge was kept alive by those who valued learning over power. And when that knowledge returned, it sparked the Renaissance. Art, science, and discovery were reborn, because ancient Greeks once dared to think. Without Greece, there would be no modern democracy, no scientific method, no philosophy, no universities. The modern world is not built on steel or concrete. It is built on ideas that were first spoken by barefoot philosophers in dusty streets. But Greece also teaches us something deeper. The same minds that built civilization also destroyed unity. Brilliant thinkers could not stop human pride. Strong ideas could not stop human ego. Athens believed it was superior. Sparta believed it was stronger. And both forgot that cooperation is greater than competition. When unity dies, even genius cannot save a nation. This is the greatest warning Greece leaves us. A civilization may be intelligent. It may be advanced. It may be creative. But without humility, discipline, and unity, it will still collapse. The mind can build the world, but character keeps it standing. That is the hidden lesson of ancient Greece. Not just how to think, but how to live. Because knowledge without wisdom creates arrogance. And arrogance destroys everything it touches. Today, we have more information than ever. But we have less understanding. We know more, but we question less. And this is dangerous. The Greeks taught us that progress only comes when people are brave enough to ask why. Why do we live this way? Why do we believe this? Why do we follow this path? Without these questions, civilizations fall asleep. And when a civilization sleeps, it is conquered, not by armies, but by ignorance. The true power of Greece was never in its buildings or its armies. It was in its refusal to stop thinking. And that is why, even after thousands of years, ancient Greece still rules the world. Because ideas do not die. They wait. They wait for the next generation, brave enough to think. And those who dare to think will always shape the future. And this is why history is not just something we study. It is something we live. Every generation faces the same choice that Greece once faced. Will we think for ourselves? Or will we blindly follow? The Greeks showed us that questioning authority is not rebellion. It is the beginning of wisdom. Socrates was executed not because he was dangerous, but because he made people uncomfortable. He forced them to look at their own ignorance. And most people would rather stay comfortable than become wise. That is another eternal lesson of Greece. Truth is rarely welcomed. It is feared. Plato warned that societies fall when people confuse opinions with facts and emotions with reality. Aristotle taught that logic must guide human behavior, or chaos will. These teachings are more important today than ever. In a world full of noise, Greek philosophy reminds us to slow down and think. In a world full of anger, it reminds us to reason. In a world full of lies, it reminds us to search for truth. Ancient Greece may be gone, but its voice still speaks to us. It tells us that the future does not belong to those with the biggest armies, but to those with the clearest minds. And if humanity is to rise again, it will not be through destruction. It will be through understanding. That is the final gift of ancient Greece, the gift of thought. And thought is something no empire can ever truly control. Tyrants can silence voices. They can burn books. They can destroy cities. But they can never fully destroy an idea. Because once an idea enters the human mind, it becomes impossible to erase. This is why the legacy of ancient Greece survived every conquest. Persians marched through Greek lands. Romans ruled Greek cities. Empires came and went. But the ideas of Greece remained. They traveled through time. From philosopher to student. From book to book. From generation to generation. Even today, when we debate justice, we are continuing a Greek conversation. When we study science, we follow Greek curiosity. When we seek meaning in life, we walk the same path that Socrates once walked. Ancient Greece reminds us that the greatest revolutions do not begin with violence. They begin with a single question. And as long as people continue to ask questions, civilization will never truly die, because the future is always built by those who dare to think. Greek thought did not fade when the temples fell. It moved east. It moved south. It moved into the minds of scholars who refused to let knowledge die. In Alexandria, one of the greatest libraries in history was built. It collected Greek science, mathematics, and philosophy. There, thinkers mapped the stars, measured the earth, and studied medicine. The spirit of Greece was kept alive in books. Later, in the Islamic Golden Age, Greek works were translated into Arabic. Scholars in Baghdad, Persia, and Andalusia preserved Aristotle, Plato, and Euclid. They improved Greek astronomy, algebra, and medicine. Without them, much of Greek knowledge would have been lost forever. When Europe began to awaken, these Greek ideas returned. They fueled the Renaissance. They inspired artists, scientists, and inventors. They gave birth to modern universities. From Copernicus to Newton, from Galileo to Einstein, their thinking followed Greek logic. Democracy in the modern world is built on Athenian ideas. Courts of law follow Greek reasoning. Education is shaped by Greek philosophy. Every smartphone, every hospital, every scientific discovery is connected to a chain of thought that began in ancient Greece. But Greece also left us its greatest warning. Knowledge without wisdom creates pride. Power without humility creates destruction. The same civilization that taught humanity how to think could not stop itself from falling apart. Athens became arrogant. Sparta became obsessed with war. And when unity died, Greece became vulnerable. That is the second lesson of Greece. A society can be brilliant, but if it loses cooperation, it will still collapse. Today, humanity stands where Greece once stood. We have more knowledge than any civilization in history, but we are divided. Ancient Greece whispers to us through time. Learn, question, think, but also unite. Because intelligence builds civilizations, but unity keeps them alive. And that is the true legacy of ancient Greece. Not just the birth of thought, but the responsibility that comes with it. History does not belong to those who are strongest. It belongs to those who are wisest. And the future will always be shaped by those who dare to think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more epic history stories.